good enough to make your mass link work, which is why it's mostly better to make some drones and spore up, and then you can also go high, so many possibilities to make spores and go high. Right?
At what point in the ZVZ do you stop, you look at the situation, and you say to yourself, okay, now is the time to throw down the Queen's Nest? Is there a visual cue you're looking for, or is it just kind of an in-game feel of my aggression really kind of isn't working out right now?
I would say it depends if I have spores on or not. If I have spores, I try to get high after my +1 defense upgrade finishes for mules. So I try to line the timing up. And in other situations where I don't have spores, it's hard to tell, because the question is if you can survive it. Normally you need a good amount of economy, a good amount of drones to go high, or else you won't have enough to support until you are at high, and you won't have enough economy to make devours, which costs pretty much. So yeah, only games where you really have a good amount of economy, which mostly is a game with 12 pool or 12 hedge.
Alright. Okay. Now, next couple of things I want to show just mostly as this is really cool stuff Bakuryu did, but I'll ask you some questions about it anyway. A little bit later in the game, after you throw up Hive Tech, but before Devours come out, you, oh, excuse me, I got my videos out of order. After Hive Tech, you have Devours out. You're going up against a much larger air fleet at the very bottom of the map.
Yes.
You get into a situation where his entire army is clumping, then focusing down your Devourers, while your Mutalisks take no damage and no acid spores. Was that, and the end result is that you have all your Mutalisks, he has all his Devourers. Is that just elite micro that you picked up from your Hive practice, or was that an accident? Because it did happen multiple times. The first time I thought, wow, that was a really lucky engagement for Bakuryu. But then you did something really similar to that later on.
I think it was an accident.
It was.
He made around 8 devours, I think, and I only made like 5. And in the Muta Devour against Muta Devour battle, it's always better if you can focus on the Mutalisks first, because with their faster shooting, like faster cooldown, they make more damage to the acid spores. So I normally focused on the Mutalisks first. So I just ended up killing his Mutalisks, and his Devours were left, while he killed my Devours, because I sent the Devours first to tank hits and to get him to clump up, while I danced my Mutalisks around to then snipe some of his Mutalisks. And it's also good to attack the Mutalisks first, so you can go in with links, like I did in the game, to his bottom base.
Alright. I'm a little bit confused, because you started out saying it's an accident, and then you described how you did it all on purpose.
The accident is that he didn't target my Mutalisks.
He made the mistake. You did it right. Okay.
I would say it's like that.
Okay. Moving on to that second bit you were talking about, where you run in with some lings, you try to take down the hatchery, and your lings are getting killed by Mutalisks. And you do this really cool play where you sweep your Mutalisks through, draw fire away, and then your lings can kill the hatchery. How do you come up with that stuff, man?
I actually wanted to snipe some mutalisks because his mutalisk control was quite bad in that game. And I knew his hatch didn't have much HP left, and I just needed to save my mutalisks because I flew in with my mutalisks. So the only way out was flying right through it. The moment I saw his devours, I immediately flew away because I wanted to snipe his mutalisks, but if there are devours around, I can't do that. So yeah, it just turned out right with my Link killing his third base. The problem was that one Link denied my third base at the top for like forever, and I wasn't able to kill it, which is why I tried to extend to the bottom right, because I was trying so aggressively to deny his expansion that I couldn't also defend at the other end of the map, like the top base.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a really cool move. It's the kind of things that kids, the 12-year-olds, lay in their bed, just look up at the ceiling and dream about doing stuff like that.
I think so.
All right. Moving on. One more question about just general high-tech philosophy. You went for defilers in that game. You got defilers. The next step is to then take it back to the ground. Is that something you believe in, or are you or are you a player who just says, nope, I'm going to get defilers, but after I get my defilers, I'm just going to build up a huge mutalisk fleet and beat them with superior micro?
Honestly, it depends on the game. In some games, you go mutalisk, draw, then defiler, and then you keep making mutalisk and draw. And in other games, you change to lurker hydra. It depends on your economy and how many hatches you have. If you look at his base, I think he had 3 bases and 4 hatches, so he can't really make a mass amount of hydralisks. So just making mutalisks, draw, and then defiler is enough to kill me later. In order to make many hydras or the ground switch back to hydra locker, you need a third base which you defended, which you have defended already with 4 spores or 5 spores and some mutalisks left, like 1 group, so you can snipe stuff. Then you can easily go hydra, or if you have 2 base and at least 5 hatches, I think. I'm not too sure about that, but I think that might be the trigger or something like that.
So whether or not you can take it back to the ground depends a lot on the larva count, is what you're saying. Okay. Alright. Well, that's all the questions I had about the game. Your next opponent is the Sniper Zerg, Ace.
Yes.
Pretty good. He got second last time around. Looking strong this time around. What are you thinking about with Ace?
The problem I have with Ace is that his builds or the builds he's using in ZDZ are more versatile. He uses more different builds than Castro did, so it's harder to really find a glaring hole, like a weakness, like in the news. And the maps are also not really the best maps to play on, but at least for me, because I haven't played on Ruling Heights or Belgrade at all in GVG, which kinda makes it funny. I don't know.
Your problem with the maps just comes from you're just not familiar with them, right?
Yes.
So you mentioned that Ace switches up his builds.
Yes.
Castro doesn't. Is there any other significant... I mean, that's a very significant difference. But is there any other significant difference that you see between Castro and Ace? Is there something particular about Ace's play that was strikingly different than what Castro does?
I'm not too sure, and I don't know if I want to tell it or not, because it could affect my games. I'm not exactly sure, because I might need to watch some more replays of him, if I can find them. So I'm totally sure about it.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay. Alright. Well, thank you very much, Bakuryu. It's certainly an informative interview. Sure to help many young aspiring Zergs out there.
I hope it did.
Time for shoutouts, man. What do you have?
I don't know. Shout out to Cole, because he helped me against Castro. He was talking to me after he lost to Castro about how to combat his build. I said that I wanted to use Mindful and Perfect. I based it upon this first game build, which was Perfect, so I played the Mindful. And we were talking about holding the ramp against his Turf in main hatch, because he tried to do it on Circuit Breaker with Mindful Stealing and hold his ramp, Castro's ramp, and then go for Mutalisk. In the third game, which you can see, I actually did that, but with Mindful there. So I got fast in Mutalisk, which made it easier to win. And yeah, that's why I want to shout out to him. And shout out to Sawaki, because he always trains with me. And shout out to Pike. I hope he will win against Mitchell. And yeah, that's it.
Alright. Well, thank you again, Bakuryu. Good luck with the rest of the tournament. And
thanks.
Figure out that replay situation.
Yeah, I try my best.
Alright. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.